Hello, everybody, and welcome into Disconnected, second round coverage of the 2025 SoCal Series Championship. I'm Ethan Wellin, and joined in the booth by Chris Brophy.
Hey there.
Really special coverage today out in the sunny, beautiful conditions at Kit Carson Park. And as we get things started with Ryan Jewell, we want to make sure that we thank Circle One for supporting the coverage this weekend.
Shane sure did a lot to help make this championship happen. I got to play on his beautiful new course over by the airport. His shop is awesome, so support Circle One. Thank you.
So as our lead card tees off here on the first hole, Ryan Jewell is out to an early lead. He stands at 9 under par. Really impressive bogey-free round this morning in tough conditions. Here's Ryan making his approach shot on the fourth hole. We're starting on the fourth. And that's Jake Brown. Jake is a incredible player, road warrior, 1,000 rated. Here's Jake Froehle kicking off the rock and sticking out at the edge of C1.
These rocks are well placed, just around Circle's edge. Got to get past him for the easy putt. And there's OB right behind it too. This is a great hole. Real tough, especially in the rain.
I think I didn't get a chance yet to introduce Mr. Nick Newton. Nick has been out on the tour for a couple years and living in Arizona, but he's a San Diego guy, and Kit Carson basically amounts to a home course for Nick, so familiar confines.
Yeah, speaking of road warriors, Nick's been playing for a while. He's beaten a lot of people. Scrappy.
His first win came way back in 2014 on the SoCal Series, Sky High Showdown.
Not surprising.
So the fifth hole at Kit Carson, 335 feet past the mandatory. You see these guys having a tough time getting off the tee. It's really slick, hard to get a hold of the disc. The footing is horrible. It's basically been raining since 8 a.m., and we're getting on 1 o'clock now, so just super saturated.
I've heard a lot of people say this was the hardest rain they have ever played in. You know, we're pretty spoiled in Southern California, but it was pretty good rain.
Sounds like the answer of a lot of men who have not spent much time golfing in other parts of the country. But it was wet, for sure.
We're pretty soft.
So kind of a slow start for our lead card. No birdies through the first 2 holes. Hole 6, treacherous. Jake Brown is just sliding towards the OB. It's probably maybe 6 feet left of the pin, and the hard pan is just sloping straight in. Ryan takes, I think, a much safer play, that sidearm, if you're willing to accept a little bit of a longer putt. Get on the ground, Nick. Nice and sticky.
Good touch.
And this is shaping up to be a really tough start for Jake. Froehle is Jake. Oh, sorry, that was Ryan making his birdie putt. It's tough when they're all in the rain gear. Here's Jake Brown. Liking par, so he maybe just slid right across that OB line with his drive. Nick has a drop-in birdie.
Three pars in a row. Good start for Jake Brown there. I know that was my mantra out there. Patience and pars. That's what was needed on this rainy day.
7th is only 295 feet, but it plays through a low ceiling double mandatory gap, and is kind of, you have to rip it up there because the ground is grabby short, and then it's slick long.
With OB left and behind it.
Yeah, treacherous.
Kit's a fun layout if you've never played it. A lot of different textures. Not a ton of elevation change, but they do a great job of making use of this park. Creek runs down the middle that they play OB. Don't want to put that into the river. Probably 2 meters to out of bounds from there, depending on where they have that line.
Great putt by Froehle to get his round back on track after a tough start. I think Nick Newton with his birdie has now gained a stroke, gotten himself within 3 of Ryan Jewell. So you can just see that little trickling creek is now a ripping river. And that's going to be a factor for several holes.
Yeah, I'm sure all these guys are used to playing that creek out of bounds, but you're not in fear of losing your favorite driver. But today, it's a good chance you don't get it back.
Oh, they were almost 100%. I mean, a lot of discs were recovered at the end of this round, but in the course of the round, almost anything that slid into that creek was instantly gone. There was no scurrying down there to grab your putter.
Some surfer's going to find it off the coast of San Diego.
No kidding.
A couple hours.
Hey, that's an early turkey for Nick Newton. The ninth, 250 feet. This plays a little bit uphill. It doesn't really read so much in the camera. But it is once again just perched a couple of meters off of that drop to the OB Creek. It's like kind of a strange reach back and follow through for Ryan. I wonder if he slipped a little bit.
Looked like some rain, some hesitancy to grip it and lock it towards the water. Easy to be a little scared, have that come out early.
And this, I think, is the perfect play. I like that overstable mid or putter dragging away from the OB line. This is hard to even run in the current conditions. I'm sure that on a perfect summer day, Ryan would not even think about that for a second and just toss it in, but that allows Nick to gain another stroke on him.
Nick give up the umbrella and the rain jacket? Just going footloose and fancy free out there? Looks like it.
Does look like we have a little break in the drizzle. This is an important hole to take advantage of. The tee pad was adjusted because of the flooding, so now at the MPO level, just a very straightforward 200 and what have we got? 285 on the card, 275. Only one tree to beat. I like the sidearm play too. Shape of the green's very receptive to that.
Yeah, hard to go too long. You don't have to mess with that ceiling. Beat the trunk and you got a putt. Nice putt.
Good comebacker. Kind of a shocking miss for Nick. That putt has been a staple of his game for a long time. Very consistent release point.
Seemed like he didn't like it before it even left his hand.
Hole 11, really interesting, kind of a signature short par 4 here at Kit.
Fun hole.
Jake Brown's just throwing kind of a setup shot. Looks like that's a roller for our leader.
Oof, hope it has a little cut on it. That thing flips and gets towards the water. Pretty easy play there for Jake, right in the middle. Should have a good upshot. Nick pulls it tight, gets away with it.
Just wants to see that cut back to the left, and it must have. So now he has a crossing shot. There's a little creek short, and it looks like he might have just dropped right in it.
Short is the miss you do not want. There's that big catcher's mitt behind it, so better just try to throw it in. Take the putt coming back. Well, I don't see the flags on the other side there. I'm not sure where it was set up.
Yeah, we played the creek as casual water on this hole. So you can see Ryan just sticking his foot in it so he doesn't have to go back to the short side. This is, under normal conditions at Kit, this area is totally dry or maybe has a couple puddles and a little trickle of water. It looks like Nick did make it to the basket side and is rewarded with a birdie.
I stand corrected.
285 feet up the hill here on the 12th. Sets up really receptively for that sidearm that Ryan just threw. You kind of want to just hit the top of the hill or barely fly over it because then the green feeds down and away from you.
Come on.
Backhand gap that's a little tighter. Forehand gap's open, but you're exactly right. You have to really play that hill crest because if not, you go sliding on past with a tough putt. Another fun hole. It's just enough trees that if you run the putt wrong, you can get yourself in trouble too.
Yeah, you do occasionally see somebody that misses this putt from the high side and just trickles even like 12 or 14 feet behind that tree that's immediately behind. Great putt by Ryan, another birdie. If you just trickle behind this tree, there's a spot where you can't make your par. Very frustrating. Hole 13, kind of a unique Kit Carson hole. All of this dirt out to the right is inbounds fairway, but the grass to the left of the green is OB. So you kind of want to slide the disc down there to the mouth, and then you're putting onto this little peninsula. It looks like Jake Froehle maybe just flew right onto it.
If you hit the fence, you can still have a putt, but if you're too close to it, you get in that kind of awkward, having the fence sort of, in your swing. Another fun hole.
Yeah.
Unique.
Bless you. Bless you.
That was a good play by Nick. It looked like he wasn't even messing with the OB.
Wow, Ryan is now on a bit of a heater. 4 in a row. 6 out of the last 9. 6 out of the last 8.
Pretty good in those conditions.
Which matches Nick Newton. 6 out of the last 8 for him as well. Jake Brown not wasting any energy on that putt.
Tour pro.
Smart man. The 14th. This is another short par 4. We've got the double mandatory, the 2 trees straight ahead. And we have the creek running the... This Ryan makes it through clean. Creek running the left side, and again just a couple of feet from the pin with water ripping. So it's going to be a setup shot and then a very important second shot if you want to make the birdie.
Tentative. See that happen on this hole so often. Guys go to lay up and then miss anyways. This Mandy's tough. It's just far enough away.
Round one, Nick made this layup play short with the sidearm, and then he made the birdie, and it looks like he's given himself a chance to do it again.
Oof. It looks like a drop-in double.
You see these guys reacting. Frustration of this hole is that almost anything that hits the ground by the pin is going to go out of bounds. You have to be on the ground 10 or 15 feet right.
And I said double. I forgot there's a par 4, and he didn't miss, so yeah. Disregard.
Just a single bogey, but it's a frustrating bogey at this skill level because the hole is, under 450 feet.
Yeah. Dry conditions, I wouldn't be surprised if a few of these guys are going for the eagle.
Yeah. 15th is a technical little 245-foot sidearm shot. Low ceiling, and there's a late kind of cheeky mandatory, Ryan's flying right in front of it, that doesn't allow you to swing a super wide shot.
You've cut it tight, you can skip out the gate. You got to get under the trees, but over those rocks, which is probably what forced Nick up, it plays harder than it looks.
Yes, for sure. And just to prove Chris's point, we have a field of 20-some professionals here, including several thousand rated players. This 245-foot hole averaged right on par. As many bogeys as birdies.
Good job, Jake.
It's a good par save for Nick, but another birdie for Ryan means that Ryan has now extended his lead from the beginning of round number 2.
Good shot.
Look close again.
16 plays 330 feet. It's a good sidearm shot. You can also attack straight ahead, which I kind of expect Nick to do. Mid-range or fairway driver.
Hold it.
This hole always seems to have a slightly different visual every year, every time I come back to Kit Carson. I think there's something about these trees getting shaved down. Sometimes you can see the bucket, and sometimes it's a blind hole. Nice bounce back for Jake Brown. Nick makes his par.
There you go.
Oh, it stays hot. It's the way to do it, huh? Drive first, putt last.
Makes the game simple. 17, 270 feet through a double mandatory right in front of you. I think Ryan's play is the correct play to park the hole.
Yeah.
Little flexi sidearm. The shape of the fairway late is very awkward up this middle gap. I think you can make it with a tight little flexing backhand, which maybe that's what Jake Brown's going to try. Not a lot of room to shape that disc in there.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Well, temp T-pad on this hole, huh?
Yeah, stretching it out. They made a couple of changes just to toughen this course up for the pros this weekend. Wow, is Nick inside all these guys with his drive? That is a phenomenal park job. Tough hole to get close. But not gaining any strokes on the leader because Ryan has now birdied 8 holes in a row.
I
18th is another interesting one, 365 feet across this open parkland, but it gets technical late. Go under a low ceiling and down into this little sheltered gully. You see Nick's reaction there. That's because if you get too far off to the right or the left of this hole, you kind of set up this really pinched angle where you can't access
so good. Yeah, Jake.
the green.
Nice shot, Jake.
Almost a bit of metal.
Yeah, you can be pretty close to that target and not have a great putt. So to put one drop under like that,
Give him a show, dude. Come on.
great shot.
Yeah.
Could be two strokes on Nick if he's not careful. Yeah, look what he had to do. Tough. Just far enough that you have to throw it pretty hard. Another cool hole.
Ooh.
And the river doesn't really come into play in this position. But luckily, if you did get into the river and lose your disc, you have Circle 1 Disc Golf Shop just right down the freeway, where they have an amazing selection of all the finest disc golf discs and accessories for the picking.
Did you hear that, Shane? Chris will wait for his check.
It's a beautiful shop. I've been there myself. Got some targets you could putt on. Check it out.
A long walk over to hole number 1 because the path was completely flooded out. These guys have navigated it, and it sets up well for a sidearm. There is an OB line maybe 20-25 feet right of this basket. So you do want to miss on the left side or short. That'll give you a opportunity to make your birdie.
Another hole with cool texture, low ceiling, deceivingly low ceiling with that hill in your face. You got to get under the immediate branches, but over the hill, and then you don't want to be in that big, thick sawbrush at the end. So another cool Kit Carson hole.
Good birdie by Nick Newton. Looking straight at that OB. And maybe it's going to be all birdies. Where did Jake end up? I would say so.
Don't jinx him. There we go. We'll call it a start for him.
The man's 6.5 feet tall with long arms. Not too worried about him making a putt on an elevated basket.
Ooh, that looked tight. He missed the Mandy?
I think he did. This is another one of those holes where they've provided a stretched out tee pad and it's turned a relatively simple sidearm into a bit of a dicey sidearm.
Not only do you have the double Mandy, but typically there's an out of bounds line on that right side.
I think there is back there in the trees. Can't
So
remember.
even if Jake didn't miss the Mandy, he could probably out of bounds.
Looks like he's just at the drop zone.
OB right behind it too. It's even kind of a sketchy little upshot.
These are relatively rare birdie opportunities in difficult conditions today. See if Ryan can capitalize. Yeah. One of only 2 birdies in the field for Ryan Jewell.
He has hit some nice putts this round.
Sure has. Now up to birdies on 10 of his last 11 holes. He's extended the lead to, what is it, 9? 8? 9? Really dominant performance today. Okay, hole 3, which will be hole 18 for us. 485 feet par 4. Plays a little bit uphill. The first shot is through a relatively fair-sized tunnel. I mean, for these guys, shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yes, sir. Great shot.
It's a good rip.
And it's definitely a 2-shot hole. I think you kind of want to just blast it up there, try and get past the permanent short tee pad, which will leave you maybe 310, 320 feet. Decent scoring opportunity. And back here where Ryan is, I think there's virtually no chance, honestly, in these conditions of getting it all the way up there into the circle. Attacking with a little bit of a flex.
Ton of well-placed logs and things in this fairway to impede your progress, and often out of bounds right behind the target as it's sloping away, so you can get all the way up there and hit one of those logs and have a 35-footer, or slip past it and BOB at the back edge of the circle. It's a tough green.
Looks like Nick has a C3 birdie putt. Frustrating round for Jake.
He's a good player. He had a rough start, playing in the rain all day. It's hard to not be a little frustrated.
Par tap-ins. Finish a very long, wet day. I'm sure these guys will be happy to get indoors, as our cameramen will be as well. After 2 at the SoCal Championships, Ryan Jewell out to a big lead. We'll see if anybody can chase him down in round 3 at Bringle Terrace. Join us back here on Disconnected. I'm Ethan Wellin.
I'm Chris Brophy. See ya.